Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Paul Hall and 10th Man, together with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome, one and all.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Hello.
Great to see you, Nathan.
4 more hours.
Good morning.
We've got a bit of a twist, a bit of a surprise. We've got Craig, Fight the Flat Earth. Craig, are you with us?
I am. What's up?
Hey,
Fight the globe.
Hold on, Brumley. Yeah, great. So,
Wow.
Craig, you've heard the housekeeping questions. I'm sure
Many times, yes.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to go through them. Nathan is going to obviously ask them, and hopefully you can answer them for us.
I can do my best.
Fantastic. Nathan, he is all yours.
I don't mind someone else asking them. Are you around 10th Man? Do you want to ask housekeeping questions?
Yeah, I'm right here. I can do it.
Feel free.
All right. Any signs of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
Oh, yes, it's been measured several times.
No, there's no evidence for it.
Hold on.
Go on.
Hold on. Go ahead. Tell us all about it.
Hello.
Well, the geodesic surveying methods can measure the radius of the Earth quite well, and it's been done several times. There's an entire list. The one I like to reference is the transcontinental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel, which measured the radius of the Earth using the USA. Several teams also did similar measurements across the world. You've got ones that did it across Asia, across India. You've got a team that did it across Great Britain, a team that did it across Europe, all different times throughout history. And the interesting thing is that whenever they do it using known geodetic surveying methods, they all come to the same conclusion that the Earth is a curve. So it's a repeatable, it's a testable thing. Anyone that knows how to be a surveyor can do this. You can learn to be a surveyor, get the tools and do it yourself. It's certainly a scientific evidence of the Earth being curved, the fact that we can measure the radius.
Okay, scientific evidence would be an establishment of cause and effect with an experiment, so this definitely isn't that. So you keep saying they do it.
Yeah.
What do they do exactly? What are they doing? What are they measuring?
They are measuring the elevation points along several known points above sea level. So they get to known distances, right? So say a point on the west coast of America and the point on the east coast of America. And then they would do lots of measurements from point to point to match it all up, and then use geodesic surveying methods to get triangles to calculate the areas of what they have measured. And when they add up all the triangles together, the internal angles of all the triangles always equal more than 180. Now, if the Earth was not a globe, then the triangles wouldn't ever have angles that were more than 180, but all of the triangles that you get when you add up these measurements equal 180, more than 180 rather. So I'd say that being able to consistently measure and test the measurements it's very good scientific evidence that the Earth has a curve.
I've just said it's not scientific evidence. It's not establishing.
I mean, you can
cause
say
and
that.
effect. Do you mind not interrupting me? I didn't interrupt you. Can you shut your mouth?
No.
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm responding. That means you shut up.
I know you are.
Yeah, don't talk through me then. Very politely, this isn't going to last long, Craig. If when I respond, you immediately start talking through me like you're doing now. So I didn't interrupt you.
If you talk to me like that,
can you shut up?
No worries. No, I won't shut up.
Do I have to gag you, you pathetic twat?
You can.
Right, I will if you don't shut up.
Guys.
I will if you don't shut up and let me respond. I'll say it again.
On you go.
It seems that you want to censor me, Craig. Are you scared of me?
No.
Are you scared of me?
Absolutely not, Nathan.
Well, then shut up. You scared of my response?
No.
Well, then shut up.
No, not at all.
Well, you seem scared. You don't seem to be allowing me to respond, Craig. It seems pretty pathetic. You haven't shut your mouth since I started to try and respond to you. You haven't shut up. You're scared of me. Good lad. It's not scientific evidence. There is no naturally occurring phenomena that an experiment has been performed to... There you go again. You seem to be a little bit triggered, Craig. If you wouldn't mind, like you got, I'd like, without you giggling and talking through me to get the second rendition of something you've ignored through to you.
Nice, if you say.
Yeah, you can try and shut up at least once for a response, Craig. It's the second rendition. It's not science, mate. No naturally occurred phenomena has been studied and no experiment has been performed. Not science, not scientific evidence. That's the first point. Again, and you still seem to be interrupting me, Craig. You had your long, boring waffle, and now I've got a few questions about your long, boring waffle. If you can actually tolerate it, Craig. You seem very triggered, Craig. Craig, do you want to go away for a few minutes and calm down?
No, I'm cool. I'm having a lot of fun.
You seem very triggered. Do you want to go away for a few minutes and calm down? Because you don't seem to be tolerating me speaking.
Says the one that's been screaming and shouting like a baby.
No, you try and keep out of it, whoever's interrupting. Chemo. No, Chemo. Yeah. Chemo, did you not hear me? No. We'll try and calm Craig down, see if he can allow me to actually respond to him without constantly interrupting like he's doing now. We'll see how triggered Craig gets during this response. He's already triggered before I've even started. You need 5 minutes, Craig.
I think everybody can see
you need 5 minutes, mate.
Nobody interrupts you, Craig. No one interrupts you. You're being a heckler right now. Just sit down and listen.
You're scared of me.
Cool.
Do you mind not
on you go.
Everybody else on the panel, please.
Yeah, cool. On you go.
You don't need to give me permission. You just need to calm down. Maybe take a couple of minutes, take a few breaths.
I'll let you speak.
Like now when you're interrupting me. Just calm down, Craig. I know it's very stressful for you. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, cool. Whenever you're ready. Awesome. Off you go. You've got permission.
Excellent. So, not only is this not scientific evidence, that's the first issue, which you obviously tried to obfuscate. The second issue is you said they used geodetic surveying methods. So,
yes.
You don't need to nod along, my friend. You just need to shut up. Go away. Have 5 minutes, Craig. We'll talk amongst ourselves while you calm yourself down. You seem very triggered.
Anything.
Very triggered, aren't you, mate? I'll try again.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, you chuckle away, fun boy. I'll try again. Let's see how you get on. You said they used geodetic surveying methods. So they'd be surveying tangent planes then, correct?
Say that. I didn't catch that. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, try shutting up. Instead of sniggering and
I wasn't
giggling.
saying anything. It blocked out and I didn't hear what you said. Try not being so triggered, Slappy, and just finish what you're saying.
Who had the bet on the first ad hom?
I did.
I don't think you know what an ad hom is. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've not even got a chance to deliver my argument in rebuttal yet because you're so triggered you haven't tolerated it yet, Craig. But you keep interrupting, my friend, with your ad homs.
I didn't interrupt that time. You just said shut up and I didn't say anything.
Right, I'll try again.
Why don't you shut up?
So you said they were using geodetic surveying methods. And my question for the second time, while you nod along and interrupt closing the line, because you're triggered and you need to nod along when we've got mics that have gates on them, because you're technically illiterate. That's not an ad hom, that's a fact.
Cool.
Watch as he interrupts me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's still interrupting, isn't he? Very triggered,
Cool.
Craig. I'll try once more. Third attempt. I'll keep counting them off as you interrupt, saying,
if we get to 10...
You're technically illiterate. You're closing the gate, therefore you can't hear. Okay? You just need to shut up, Craig.
Worries.
That's the fourth time I've told you. Just try.
Yeah, no worries. Yep.
So there'd be these geodetic surveyors with their geodetic surveying methods. They'd be assessing a tangent plane when they moved location, wouldn't they?
They measure elevation points. As I
on
explained.
a tangent plane.
As I explained.
Sorry, are you ignoring my question? Is it a no, they don't measure tangent planes? Or yes?
I told you what they
You
measure.
don't need to talk through me, Craig. Craig, every time I repeat the question that you've dodged, yeah, you seem to be talking through me. You've dodged my question.
Carry on being ignorant. It's all fun.
You haven't answered me. You don't seem to have answered me. You've dodged my question, and now you're talking non-stop. I'll repeat it a third time. Maybe a third time to get a yes or no answer, Craig? You seem to have dodged my question.
Anytime you want to carry on, Nathan. As I explained, they measure elevation points.
On a tangent plane.
As I explained, they measure elevation points. There's your answer.
So you don't understand geodetic surveying then? You don't know what tangent plane is? Are you stupid? I thought you knew what a tangent plane was. As I've explained, they measure elevation points. They measure the drop between the elevation points, and then they calculate it all with triangles to see what the actual the distances would be. As I've explained. I see. And when you put the triangles together, you get angles that are more than 180. Drop of what?
The drop between the points. If you're looking from one, I forgot what they're fucking called. Don't
swear, please.
What's the things that geodetic surveyors use?
You didn't listen. Don't swear.
I'm sorry that it's very hard for you to hear a swear word. I guess that's what happens with mature people.
Just don't swear.
Anyway, yeah. Cool, no worries. The amount of times I've heard you swear on here, Nathan, I find that entirely ironic.
And in a live show.
So, do you not know what a tangent plane is?
Do I have to say it again, Nathan?
Yeah, I've asked you if you know what it is and whether or not they use it. You haven't given me a yes or no answer, though. You dodged the question.
Theodolites, thank you, Harry. Sorry.
You seem to talk through me and ignore the question for the fourth rendition. So they're not measuring a tangent plane.
I've answered the question several times, Nathan. It's not my fault.
Is it a no? So it's a no. They're not measuring a tangent plane.
Good to know, Nathan, that you don't understand the answer.
Well, what's the answer? No.
Somebody just had to feed you information, right? That's cute. Thank you, Harry.
Sorry, I forgot the word for a second.
Sorry, was it a yes or no answer to my tangent plane question?
They measure elevation points, as I've said.
So is that a no? They don't measure on a tangent plane? Or yes, they do?
They measure elevation points.
To a dip of what? What's dipping? What's the drop to?
If you look through the theodolites to try and target one point, you would see that one falls below the other when you are measuring.
Point? What point? What point are they measuring?
Well, it depends what distance they're doing. I could get up the document to show you how they do it if you like.
Just tell me. I want to know exactly what they're measuring.
When you're saying what drop, it depends on what location they are. So they get two known locations of known elevation above sea level, and measure to see if one theodolite would be below the other when they look through the target. And then they add up all the angles that they get.
So they're looking through a theodolite at something to see whether or not it's dropped.
Sorry?
They're looking at something that's got an angular size reduction then.
Angular size doesn't make things fall down.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, but alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R disagrees with you.
Sorry, why are you babbling at me maths? Sorry, things shrink.
Because maths is what describes reality.
Hello?
And if you're talking, Nathan, you asked me a question.
Yeah, triggered. Eat that mic. Eat it. Eat that mic.
Right?
Eat it.
You
eat the mic for me, bitch.
And now I'm going to answer.
Yeah, I've just asked you if it accounts for perspective or not, and you're now telling me and justifying why it doesn't, correct?
I am saying that I don't think you understand what perspective is.
Oh, you're just telling me you don't think I understand, so it's an ad hominem attack number 2 then? Yeah, I do understand. I'm just asking a question. Does it account for perspective or not?
Oh, look at you triggered. Keep going on, Nathan.
Why are you avoiding the question?
Yeah, why is he avoiding the question, Armin? That's a good question. So it doesn't
I'm trying to answer the question, but unfortunately...
Yes or no, then? Okay, let's give you a rendition of the question. Does it or does it not, while Arwin decides that he's going to rumpus this question, does it or does it not account for things getting smaller and reducing towards the horizon in the distance? That's lowering, dropping.
Things would absolutely reduce towards the horizon, but they would never drop below it. They would never drop below a tangent, would they? That would be ridiculous.
Below a tangent.
You're not suggesting... Wait, Nathan, you're not suggesting that angular size make
I'm just
things...
trying to get clarity. What do you mean a tangent? Drop below a tangent?
Wait, no, you're not... You're not suggesting that angular size would make things drop below.
You're not listening.
Tangent, are you?
You've got verbal diarrhea, Craig. Yeah, do you want to try and listen to any of the responses, or maybe constantly talk through every response? Is that what you're suggesting? It's going to be constantly talk through every response. What tangent?
Nathan, is that what you're suggesting?
You just keep talking, Craig, and ignoring me. He's very triggered. Maybe he needs that couple of minutes, right, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't seem to be listening to the responses. He's just filibustering, talking constantly.
Are you suggesting?
I'm asking what the tangent is. Right, let's shut him up. Audience, what's happening here is I'm going to ask him what tangent. And he's filibustering through my question now, isn't he? Discord rumblings, like every other fundy who comes here. What tangent?
Oh, Fundy. Fundy, says the guy with no evidence.
What tangent?
Whichever tangent your eye line is creating.
A tangent to what? That would be a straight line that intersects a curved surface. So you're assuming you're measuring a curved surface then?
No, I don't need to assume anything.
You just said you got a tangent. You just said a tangent. That's a straight line to a curved surface. So you're assuming that what you're looking at is a straight line to a curved surface.
So I don't need to assume.
So you're begging the question, you fat man-tit twat. Yeah, that's assuming you're drawing a straight line to a curved surface. That's begging the question. How stupid are you? So you're begging the question that you're drawing a straight line to a curved surface with this geodetic survey. They're assuming a curved surface then, Craig.
Nathan, if you're making a measurement...
Say my name, bitch. Making a measurement of a curved surface that's assumed, Craig.
Nathan, if you're measuring... A
curved surface that you're assuming, then you're begging the question, Craig.
Ooh. What's that, Slappy?
So, back to the ad homs. You're assuming a tangent. That would be a straight line to a curved surface. Therefore, assuming that the surface you're measuring's curved.
Oh, are
Craig,
you so
hold
triggered?
on. Listen, hold on, Nathan, wait. Craig, tell me, before you run away, where is Nathan wrong?
No, I'm not running away.
Go on.
Yeah,
tell us where I'm wrong.
Craig, where Nathan,
tell us, Craig.
Not Nathan. Craig, tell me where Nathan is.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Craig's filibustering
I'm
the
not saying
Discord.
I'm saying I don't...
Where is Nathan wrong?
He understands what perspective is. I haven't said he's wrong about anything.
I'm not wrong. He's begging the question. He's assumed a tangent to a curved surface. That would be to assume a curved surface. That's begging the question. He's a moron. He's used a fallacy.
No, you're using the fallacy.
You're using a fallacy. No, you're using one. No, I'm not, Craig. You are. You're begging the question. You're assuming a curved surface that you can draw a tangent to. That's begging the question, you moron. Don't you understand? I'm explaining it, but you're just talking through everyone in the Discord server, so you can assume that you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. The audience will hear me, though. They'll hear me telling you that you begged the question, you fat twat.
Measurements are begging the question. That's incredible.
Yeah, you draw a tangent to a curved surface, right? So you've assumed the curved surface,
I'm talking
then.
to Nathan.
He's not answering me. He's just ignoring everything. That's all right. I don't mind. I'll just tell the audience again. He's assumed a curved surface. He said he'd draw a tangent to it. That means he's assumed the surface that he's drawing that tangent to is curved. That's begging the question. Just for anybody who didn't recognise it, Craig won't recognise it because he started talking through me every time I type try attempt to point it out to him. Maybe he'll tell me that I'm begging the question.
Yeah, no, you are. I don't...
Wow.
Yeah, I'm begging the question here. I'm drawing a tangent to a curved surface I've assumed, really.
Oh, no.
No, I know I'm not. You are, you stupid fat twat. You are begging the question, you moron.
What's that, Slappy?
You are a moron who's begged the question. That's what I've done. I've pointed out how moronic it is because it's a logical fallacy to assume your outcome.
No, it's not a logical fallacy.
What, to assume your outcome? Yeah, it's called begging the question. You're just dumb and don't understand what fallacies are. You think that assuming the surface you're measuring your tangent to is curved isn't begging the question of a curved Earth? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Bless your little cotton socks. How sweet that you can beg the question here. We don't tolerate that here, Craig.
Could I please just...
No, I'm not assuming anything. Measurement.
Yeah, you're assuming a curved surface when you draw a tangent to a curved surface. That's assuming the surface is curved. You moron. How many times have I got to point it out? God, these people are so thick. Chuckle it up, fat boy. You are begging the question, a logical fallacy, a flaw in logic. Not consistent with Earth curve, moron. So I think we'll move on, given that Craig has not measured Earth curve. He's assumed a tangent to a curved surface. That's a logical fallacy. Not proof of Earth curve, you moron.
Brommy, not now, bro. We're later.
Nathan's sworn at me 3 times, so I'm going to respond in kind.
You can suck my balls. You haven't proved Earth curve. You've just begged the question of a tangent to a curved surface. That's moronic. All you've done is beg the question. It's pathetic.
If we are measuring a tangent and it falls...
Yeah, so if we're begging the question of a tangent to a curved surface, that's begging the question. Don't justify it by shouting it at me, you moron.
Measuring, Nathan.
You're measuring an assumed curved surface.
Right, okay, if you assume...
Okay, is that a concession, fatty?
Then...
Okay, not okay. A logical fallacy, you stupid idiot. How many times have I got to tell you? Don't say, okay, yeah, I am assuming a curved surface. Okay. No, it's a logical fallacy. How many bloody times? You're just not getting it. You're stupid. You think that flaws in logic can be asserted by getting more overt with your assertion. Okay, it is not, Craig. It's not okay to beg the question here. If you'd watched the show, you'd know that.
Fallacy.
Fallacy? No, mate. Begging the question fallacy. You don't really understand fallacies very much.
Oh, cool. Like I said, I did...
Not cool! You begged the question! Now we're going to move on. If you can finally calm yourself down a little bit, tolerate the next question, given that you failed to prove Earth curve, you employed a logical fallacy, and then caused a lot of Discord rumblings because you were annoyed that you failed the first hurdle. No Earth curve being measured, just Craig's geodetic surveyors begging the question that the surface is curved, not proof of Earth curve. Let's move on. Any evidence?
And he doesn't have a clue what geodetic surveying does.
No, we know.
And
go
all
on.
right, so Nathan, what's the next housekeeping question? The next
go
one.
ahead,
He's not going to concede.
Stop, Spurs. Second
Spurs,
question.
shut
Any
up.
evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
Any evidence of R?
Let's try that again. Any evidence of R?
Yes, absolutely. The geodetic surveying methods actually calculate the R value to be exact.
Are you fucking dumb? We've just debunked this, you stupid fat twat. Are you stupid and deaf? Have we just pummeled this for the last 10 straight minutes? Yeah, chuckle it up, you stupid fundy. We've just pummeled this, you stupid idiot.
Saying you've debunked 1 + 1 = 2.
We have just debunked it. It's begging the question, you stupid dick. Now sit down with your geodetic begging the question fallacy, you moron.
Fallacy.
Yeah, not fallacy, begging the question, assuming your outcome. Assuming the thing you're trying to prove, in this case a curved Earth, is the case in your premise that you lay down in your first supposition. That would be that you're drawing a tangent to a curved surface that you've assumed is curved. That is begging the question. Now don't repeat it for a third time, you unbelievable moron. Shut up, sit down, understand your fallacy.
It's very hard to hear you if you're being so triggered, Nathan.
That's excellent. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, as we don't have R or Earth curve?
I understand that you're very angry about losing the point.
Are you listening to the questions, Craig? It seems you just want to point out that I'm triggered when I'm actually pummeling you.
No, you're very triggered, little slappy man.
That's the third same ad hom you've used, Craig.
What's that?
You've used a fallacy, and in response, you've said, okay. Not conceding that it's actually fallacious logic, you've just gone okay, and then caused a lot of Discord rumblings. Right, now we're on to the third housekeeping question, given that you've answered the first two with the exact same fallacy.
Yeah. No, not a fallacy. Measurements aren't a fallacy. You're using the fallacy.
Measurements of a tangent to a curve.
Measurements.
He's talking
measurements
through...
are measurements, Nathan.
You don't seem to want to listen, you just seem to say that that's a measurement. No, you're assuming a curved surface, Craig. Now, I know that you just want to filibuster this indefinitely because you don't want to let it go. You don't want to accept that you're assuming a curved surface that you're drawing a tangent to. You don't like that. So you're going to keep filibustering it to try and retain some of your fundy faith that they're not begging the question. They are...
Craig doesn't realise that he's talking about calculations.
I know it's very hard for you.
Calculations, Craig.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, slappy. Yeah. Anything else?
He doesn't have a clue what he's talking. I've listened to him. He didn't know what a tangent plane was. He's just reading nonsense out of a book and spewing it out.
Maybe you'd like to inform him. Let him know.
Brian.
We can educate him if he'll tolerate it. Go ahead. Let him know, Brian.
You couldn't educate him.
We're trying to. You just have to shut up. We'll see how you get on with Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Educate.
Yeah.
Brian.
Educate.
You don't know your own name. Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Seriously, Nathan, you have to take up your socks to count.
I'm going to have to gag him. Hold on, Brian. I might have to gag him. He can't control himself.
You can gag him when you want because everyone on my channel.
Craig, you just have to shut up.
Yeah,
Brian isn't your name, Craig.
I'm just going to quickly create a new emoji first.
Craig, you just need to shut up.
Here.
Go ahead,
If you
Brian. Oh, God. He's obviously so triggered he cannot shut up. I'll try for the 5th time. Without fatty chuckling. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You got the third question?
Oh, my God. I'm actually going to have to gag him. He's not tolerating anybody but himself talking. Shut up. I know you're very...
such fun.
Now.
Right,
that's all he has, Nate.
Let me just add the emoji to my channel.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's very, very desperate for a good circle jerk. He needs to score because he got hurt.
Go ahead, Brian.
What Craig doesn't understand is that everything he's talking about there are actually only calculations. All measurements by geodetic surveyors are done into Cartesian coordinates. Anything spherical after that is a calculation. It is derived. It is a calculation, a mathematical conversion from Cartesian coordinates to geographical latitude and longitude. So every time Craig mentions geodetic surveying and curve or anything to do with drop or any of these kind of things, what he's actually talking about is post Cartesian coordinates. He's talking about after all the measurements have been mathematically converted to latitude and longitude. Because that's what they have to do. They have to reference the WGS84 or the NGS80 ellipsoids as their mathematical reference models. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't even know what a tangent plane was.
Fair enough. Can we
Any
move
evidence of gravity, Craig?
Hold on, we'll get there.
Absolutely.
Spurs, we'll get there.
Evidence of gravity is quite
Spurs,
easy.
thank you, Spurs, who's not hosting the show. Thank you very much, Spurs. 10th man.
No, just ask the
10th man.
Hold on.
Yeah, Spurs doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut.
I got it. Everyone be quiet. All right.
I was asked the question. I was trying to answer. That's all.
Earth-based variety.
You couldn't be heard.
Sorry,
Craig closed the line. He closed the gate again. He's technically illiterate, doesn't understand how technology works. I'll try once more, see if Craig gets that he's giggling, cuts the line. 10th man. Go. No, he can't get it. Too stupid. Try again, 10th. No, still doesn't get it.
If you didn't put such a large noise gate on, it wouldn't be an issue. But, I was asked the question, so I'm trying to...
Shut up. We just want to hear the question once without you talking through it.
Will I read the question?
No, he won't let it happen. He's not tolerating it.
Any evidence...
10th man.
All right, we'll try again. Any evidence of axial rotation, Earth-based variety?
Good afternoon, and
absolutely. You can measure the rotation using superluminal fluids. Superflade fluid coherence. It's quite an interesting way to do it, actually. So now, if the Earth is rotating, then there's certain effects that
That's begging the question.
Right?
That's begging the question. If Earth is rotating, my God, the first words out your mouth are the begging the question fallacy I've told you off for. If Earth is rotating is the very definition of a begging the question fallacy. My God, how stupid are you? Do you not understand we don't tolerate begging the question here? If Earth is spinning is begging the question.
If the Earth is spinning...
Yeah, that's begging the question. Are you fucking dumb? I've just told you that, you stupid idiot. Don't just assert the begging the question fallacy again. How thick are you?
The question, Craig. Come on.
Okay, it's not begging the question.
If Earth is a sphere, is the premise you're trying to prove. So you're asserting it as the pretense to your argument. The very textbook definition of a begging the question fallacy. You unbelievable spastic.
Okay, fallacy.
Not okay! Every time I rape you, you say okay. Not okay. A logical fallacy used by a fuckwit. That's you. Using fallacy. Every single claimed proof so far from you has been a begging the question fallacy. It's pathetic. Don't beg the question.
This trigger.
You're just talking through me. Well, I tell you off for your logical fallacy that you don't like. You're used to just talking through people pummeling you.
Seriously,
there's no freaking conversation.
No, because he doesn't let me talk. So
yeah, you've just said if the Earth is a sphere, that's a logical fallacy. You don't like being pointed out that you're wrong, so you'll talk incessantly.
I'm not begging the question.
That is the He's thick. There's no other words for it. I've just told him. Look up begging the question.
Hypothesis. The hypothesis is that
it's not a hypothesis. You don't know what science is, you stupid idiot. I've already why am I having to go through what science is and is not again with this complete tard? No, mate, this isn't a hypothesis. For the love of God, you're begging the question. That's all you can do.
This can't be the Earth is rotating.
Why are you filibustering the Discord server?
How are you going to prove that?
Nathan,
why are you engaging him in the Discord server? Hello?
Nathan?
You're ignoring me.
It cannot be because you have an observer.
Well, who is this guy? Did I not tell you to shut up?
You're just making shit up. You're just making shit up, Craig.
Shut up, mate.
That's the thing. A hypothesis can be anything.
Sorry, Craig. Craig, you've begged the question, and now you're moving on, ignoring my rebuttal. Coward.
I haven't even got out my fucking...
You are ignoring my rebuttal. You have begged the question. If Earth is a sphere, as the starting statement begs the question.
No, it's a hypothesis.
A hypothesis establishes the cause and effect when dealing with natural phenomena. I've already detailed that 3 times to you. Now, either you're slow or you are incapable of listening.
Oh, no. Oh, really? You haven't shut your little flappy mouth?
Sorry, you haven't acknowledged my rebuttal. You stating that the Earth is a sphere is a begging the question fallacy. Now, you've done that for every single claim proof to a housekeeping question thus far. Without exception, every single claim proof you've had has begged the question.
If you state the fallacy, man, carry it on. Right, now.
What, right now? You haven't addressed the rebuttal.
No, I haven't said anything for you to rebut yet.
You've said if Earth's rotating. That's begging the question.
As soon as I start talking, you get extremely triggered.
No, I point out where your argument dies based on its logical fallacy. In this instance, begging the question. If you're trying to prove the Earth's sphere and it's rotating, and you start your example by saying, if Earth's rotating, that would be the thing you're trying to prove. Therefore, you are assuming in the starting point of your premise and your argument the very thing you're trying to prove. That, by definition, is begging the question. Now, I realise that you haven't listened to a single word that I've said, and all you've done is talk through every word of my very concise, very calm rebuttal that you don't want to hear. Because all you have is a begging the question fallacy, assuming the very thing you're trying to prove.
Oh, no, I haven't made any assumptions.
If the Earth is rotating is an assumption.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not an assumption that Earth's rotating. Yet you're a clown. You are so stupid that you don't understand your starting premise is an assumption.
No, it's not. You don't.
Oh, so you just know it's rotating, do you? That's the definition of begging the question. I already know the outcome, so I'm going to assume it as part of my premise.
No, I understand.
Stutter for me, you little bitch. Yeah, that's begging the question.
But you're like to grasp with the English language.
Yeah, it's the English language you're using to butcher this claim proof by way of logical fallacy. You won't ever acknowledge that stating the very thing you're trying to prove as your starting statement is assuming the thing you're trying to prove.
If you can be quiet for 10 seconds.
You can suck my balls, is what you can do. You're begging the question, mate. You're using logical fallacy, mate. Not sound logic. Fallacious logic, flawed logic, not good logic, crappy logic, stupid logic, moron logic, logic that you don't want to accept, logic that you want to tell me that you already know the outcome.
You hear it,
doesn't have any balls because you swallowed them.
Stop appealing to show you fallacies, mate. Tactics.
Okay, so let's try this again.
You have nothing, mate. Answer, Nathan.
Okay, let's put the ad hoc. Craig, so the evidence. So you started with if. So I think that's a bit of the problem. So the Earth is spinning. You should start like that. The Earth is spinning, and here is the evidence.
He hasn't shut up for a single word of what Spurs said. Didn't shut up for you, Spurs. Just talked constantly, like he's doing now. He's very angry.
I'll mute it in a second and listen to.
He has no intention of shutting up. He
won't. He's just lost badly, so he's going to talk constantly through everything everybody says.
He's been destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Just one more question for you, Craig. Just one more question for you, if you can tolerate it. How do my balls taste?
I know he doesn't.
You know, yeah, I know you know because I've teabagged you, mate. Yeah, all you've done is beg the question and then obfuscate the rebuttal, pointing out your logical fallacies. Pathetic. About as useless as every other glober that comes here, I might add.
Is he there? Oh, Nathan, sorry,
Actually,
I was on another call there. My bad.
What, getting help? So pathetic that you need other people to help you out when you're using fallacy to beg the question that the Earth's turning, or that you've got a curved Earth to draw a tangent to. You need help with that, do you?
No, I was just having a laugh about you, actually. It was quite...
Oh, right, it's very funny. Well, why don't you actually try and address some of the rebuttals, i.e. the fact that you've used logical fallacy called begging the question, assuming the outcome. When you say, if Earth's turning, that's assuming the thing you're trying to prove.
Right, Nathan.
You don't need to apologise. You're a moron. I expect it. Don't apologise to me.
Nathan, can you be quiet for 10 seconds?
No, you can suck my balls, though, while I teabag you, because you're begging the question every time you try and claim you're proving Earth spinning. By saying, if Earth's spinning, oh, well, wouldn't that be the thing you're trying to prove? That would be assuming it, though, wouldn't it? A logical fallacy.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't. You can't be quiet for 10 seconds, can you?
Yeah, I can do whatever I like. It's my show. But I'm glad you're here to be teabagged by me. It's good fun. Showing the audience just how stupid your logic is.
Yeah. How many are watching?
Yeah. That's right. Your logic is flawed. Fallacious. Stupid. Moron logic. That's what you're using, Craig. And it's good fun pointing that out to my audience.
Nathan, out of interest, how many are watching you right now?
I've no idea.
Well, look at your YouTube.
Sorry, who cares? You've been teabagged because you've asserted Earth is a sphere and turning by way of assuming you've got a tangent to a curved surface, that's begging the question, and stating if Earth is spinning, the premise you're about to try and prove, with a fallacious use of logic.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, terrible. You've done very poorly, Craig. In fact, you've been annihilated. That's what's actually happened here. You've been taken to pieces systematically by a flat earther.
Next question.
Go ahead, 10th.
Shall we? Yeah, let's go to the next question here.
I haven't answered that question yet.
Craig,
yeah, you use fallacious logic.
Audience size, it means you don't have a rebuttal. We're going to
I mean, is there any chance I could answer
here
the question?
Go.
Because I was asked the question and I never got a chance to answer it.
We're moving on, Craig. You use fallacious logic. I know that in your mind you've denied every single time I've tried to rebut it and talk through it, but that doesn't mean that you weren't rebutted, refuted, and then I stuck my balls in your mouth afterwards. And then we all had a good laugh at you while you were telling us that you were on a phone call. Unbelievably pathetic, but that's what's actually happened now. We're moving on.
Nathan.
Any scientific evidence
I am
of gravity?
streaming on my channel. I was talking to my subs.
Oh, right. That's fascinating. We don't care. We care about the nature of reality. You care about your sub and view count.
Now, is there any chance that I could answer the question I was asked?
No, well, you're not answering questions. You're talking about your sub and view count. You stupid moron. You had the mic. You asked me about how many viewers I had. I said I didn't know. I'm more interested in the argument about the nature of reality than my view count. You, on the other hand, don't have a rebuttal after me pointing out that you begged the question, after reiterating it and summarising it. Your rebuttal is to ask me how many people are watching, because that's what you're interested in, Craig.
Nathan, I haven't even answered the question.
I know! You used a fallacy! I pointed it out, and then you did a lot of pigeon chesting, prevented anybody from saying anything thereafter, and then told us that you were laughing at us after you got teabagged. Denial, obfuscation, every single tactic that every glober who ever comes ever uses. That's what you've done. And then chuckled when it gets pointed out to you. Moving on. 10th man, go ahead.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
I haven't answered the one about rotation, so I'm going to try and do that, please.
Any scientific evidence of gravity is the question on the table. You've already begged the question for every single question so far. We don't need to go over them 10 times.
Scientific evidence of gravity is quite easily. It's called gravitationally shifted photon. Gravitationally redshifted photons leaving the surface of the Earth.
As exampled by... Do you not know how to make a claim? As exampled by...
As exampled by the photons are redshifted as they leave the surface of the Earth.
And?
Well, why would that happen if gravity isn't...
So don't ask me a question, you unbelievable fucktard. Do you want me to make this proof for you? So immediately into yet another fallacy, asking me to prove it for him. So this is known as a burden of proof reversal fallacy. Ask me how your claim proves what you claim it claims. No, moron. It's your claim. Hello, it is your claim. You don't need to ask me how it proves it, you stupid idiot.
I didn't ask
It's also
you
begging
that.
the question again.
Right. Let me.
We'll get to that, Brian.
Let me explain it, or
just let Brian repeat himself, Craig, if you can tolerate it.
Yeah, Craig is also begging the question again, as he hasn't proved gravity. He's just showing what would be an effective gravity might be real. That's all it is, according to him.
Oh my God, scientific illiteracy is hilarious.
Okay, what's the naturally observed phenomena?
Light shifts towards the red spectrum as it leaves the surface of the Earth.
Light shifts to the red spectrum is the phenomena.
Yeah, towards the red end of the spectrum.
Okay,
as it leaves the surface.
No worries.
That's naturally observed phenomenon, right?
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you. There's more to follow, shockingly. And what was the cause of that? The independent variable.
I haven't finished.
What was the cause?
The independent the cause would be gravity, which you can actually alter the independent variable by changing the distance that you measure the photons at.
Sorry, you said gravity, and now you're saying you're varying distance, so you're not varying gravity.
Listen.
I did listen. You said you can vary gravity, and then you said by varying something that isn't gravity.
Okay, I'd agree with you, but you...
Yeah, good job you agree with me, because I'm right, Craig. That's correct. You said you could vary gravity. If it's the independent variable, that's what you'll be varying. Then you described a concept. That would be distance. Not something that you're going to be varying. Not physical, not a cause. A conceptual measurement, maths. That's what distance is. And it's not gravity.
But... Yeah, the fact is that the gravitation...
So you're begging the question. So it's back to ignoring Brian, just telling us what gravity does when you're trying to prove that. I asked you what the dependent variable was, redshift, and according to Craig, if distance, independent variable, then redshift.
Yeah, if you alter the distance that you're measuring...
So the independent variable would be distance then, not gravity. So you're using a mathematical measuring device as an independent cause. So you think distance causes redshift. That's not gravity, you moron.
I'm trying to talk. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not gravity. You've just said if distance, then redshift. That was the apparent science for this shite. So apparently a mathematical construct for measuring things causes redshift. Nothing to do with gravity. You just ignored me, though.
I haven't finished speaking, so it's very hard to hear you.
Yeah, you just keep bitching every time I leave a pause for you to respond. You moan about not getting a chance to speak. Another Glober tactic. You're not acknowledging the fact that you haven't proven gravity with science. You're saying if distance, not if gravity, then redshift. So if distance, maths, then redshift, not gravity.
Can't you? I understand you don't get science, Nathan, but...
This isn't science. Distance doesn't cause redshift.
Distance actually absolutely does in this case. The different distance that you would measure the photon at as it leaves the surface of the Earth would give you a different redshift.
Not gravity, though.
Did you hear chocolate? No, he didn't hear. He said it is gravity. So he's varying distance and saying it's gravity. So, like Brian pointed out, just begging the question then.
No, not begging the question.
No, you're just assuming gravity when you say you vary distance. So not scientifically validating it by varying and manipulating gravity as the cause of redshift, but you're varying distance and then just saying it's gravity, which is actually begging the question, Greg.
Not begging, fallacy.
And why does it every time that I point out he's begging the question, he comes back with the fallacy? No, that's not a rebuttal, mate.
All the fallacies.
That's not actually a rebuttal to claim that me pointing out where you beg the question, or in this case, Brian pointing out where you beg the question, or your claim that this shite is science when you vary the mathematical construct of distance to cause redshift, and that has literally nothing to do with gravity unless you assume it, begging the question.
I understand that your IQ is around single figures.
That's a lovely ad hominem attack there, Craig. Well, I teabag you. You begged the question again, haven't you, Craig? Yeah? And in response to my rebuttal, you're telling me I'm stupid?
Yes, you are.
That's lovely. Meanwhile, you beg the question because if distance, then redshift has no cause or effect relationship that's gravity, but you superimpose gravity onto it, that's begging the question, Craig.
Oh, no, I haven't superimposed gravity.
You're scientifically illiterate, Craig.
Oh, it's not superimposing gravity, so it's not proving gravity then.
It is proving gravity because we know gravity is a function of distance and mass.
Oh, we know! So we automatically assume it. Kind of like begging the question then, really.
No, that's
No. I'm not begging the question. We just know it's real.
Yeah.
We just know it's real.
No, we
know. It's been proven by something that isn't this thing I'm claiming proves it. Has it been proven by something else now? Because I thought this was scientific evidence of gravity. It isn't. We pummeled it. If distance, then redshift. Not gravity.
Or distance is a function. Gravity.
A function of gravity. Ding, ding, ding. Keep begging that question, Craig.
Not begging anything. It's not.
Yeah, you're begging the question.
Tell you gravity is not a force. How is gravity doing anything?
Yeah, I think we've exhausted this. Yeah, you're just begging the question for every question we ask.
Gravity isn't a force thing.
If anybody was wondering how Craig would get on with the housekeeping questions, now you know. He begs the question for every answer. That's what he does. That's how he got on. He begged the question at every opportunity. He assumed his fundy belief to answer every question.
Hey, Nathan, how do you convert into kilometers?
Craig, are you doing what George Musa told you to do? That, gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as one? Is that what you're doing right now? Are you thinking of gravity as a force?
I don't need to think of gravity as a force because there is a force created by gravity.
Oh, gravity now creates a force. What's the force that gravity creates? What's that?
It's it creates an acceleration of about 9.8 meters per second squared on Earth.
You haven't. That's a number. You have a name for that force? What's the force that gravity creates? I don't want a number.
An emergent force.
An emergent force? What the hell is that?
You know what emergent means?
Can you define that for us?
Yes, it means it's a consequence.
And can you cite that afterwards?
What's the consequence of?
I didn't hear what you said. Nathan spoke over you.
Can you define emergent force that gravity creates?
Yes, I just did.
And then cite that for us, please.
Yes. Absolutely. Gravity is an emergent force, as in it is a consequence of something else.
Wait.
No,
it is an emergent force, or it creates one? Because now you're flipping your words. You just said it creates a force. Now you're saying it is the force.
When we say gravity is a force, that's a colloquial thing. All right, there is a force created by what we call gravity, we call that the force of gravity. Okay,
the gravity creates the force of gravity. That's what you just said. Are you serious?
No, I said that.
Do you know what you're saying right now, Craig?
Oh yeah, can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, this has been demonstrated many times.
What seem to be stuttering, Craig? Does gravity create the force of gravity? Because that's what you just said. Or is it the emergent force that you are about to cite for us? Which one is it?
What I am saying is that there is a force that is measurable. Okay, we call that the force of gravity. All right, but gravity is what is creating the force.
It's force of gravity. So you said it again.
You said it again.
What's this measurement, please? You said it's measurable.
Right?
What's the measurement, please?
Hold on, that's not the question. We want scientific evidence.
You're trying to prove gravity.
Okay.
What's your scientific evidence of gravity? So far, we haven't had any.
Redshifted photons leaving the surface of the Earth.
You said the cause of that was distance.
Which is a function of gravity.
Oh, so you just begged the question that gravity was part of this non-experiment. Yeah, we pointed that out and you ignored it.
Oh, because you're wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong? No, it's definitely a fallacy. Look up begging the question. Maybe tell me that I'm guilty of the fallacy?
Maybe look up fallacy.
Yeah, how predictable is Craig?
Oh, how predictable is Nathan?
Yeah, and you're not smelly either.
So
you begged the question. Yeah, we covered this. You don't have to just whistle past it each time, Craig.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, you superimposed your fundamentalist religious gravity belief onto a non-experiment. If we have distance, then we have redshift. What was that experiment called?
I'll have to get the actual...
So you don't even know what the experiment's called?
There's many different...
I don't care about how many different there is, you ignorant twat. You're thick. You don't even know the name of this claimed experiment that proves gravity, and you don't even know the name of it.
The Pound Rebecca experiment.
Pound Rebecca experiment. And she proved gravity, did she?
Wow.
Oh my goodness me. You just think because the word Rebecca...
Sorry, did she or did she not... Shut up, Chocolate. Did she or did she not prove gravity with this experiment? Yes or no? She did.
Who are you talking about?
It's your citation. Who am I talking about? No, nobody.
I didn't say there is a woman called Rebecca. I said
whoever this citation of yours is, does it prove gravity with this experiment? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Go on then.
It does.
Let's see the citation. Post it in live stream. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look.
It's more than a citation. It's an entire paper.
That's fascinating. And the IV was distance. The DV was redshift, right?
Yeah.
That's not gravity.
And as you know...
No, that's right. Not gravity, not scientific evidence thereof.
No, again, I'd agree with you, but we'd both be wrong.
Yeah, you could agree with me, but I'm right. It's not scientific evidence of gravity. If the IV, that would be the thing that's varied, is distance, not cause, I might add. And the DV is redshift. There's no gravity in there, mate. Don't you get it?
Yeah. No, you don't get it because...
No, it's me. I don't understand. It's not if gravity, then redshift. It's distance, so not proving gravity, moron.
No. The difference in distance creates a difference in gravity because Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared.
Oh, so the dv is now gravity. I thought the dv was redshift. Why is it now changed from redshift to gravity?
No, I know that Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared.
Sorry, why has the dependent variable now changed to gravity? Because now we've got if distance then gravity. It was if distance then redshift.
No,
I know. You've changed the dependent variable from redshift to gravity.
I haven't changed it. You just don't understand what I'm saying. It's fine. I understand, Nathan.
No, I do. I'm not thick, and I can pay attention to what people say and the words that they use and formulate that into nonsense and then point out their nonsense back to them pretty swiftly, actually, Craig.
We write it down, Craig. We know what you say.
Yeah, I don't need to write it down. I can listen. I pay attention quite closely to what people say.
So, you vary distance, therefore you vary gravity.
So, therefore the dv is now gravity. So, if distance, then gravity. So, you have now changed the dv from redshift to gravity.
No, I haven't, because gravity...
yeah, you have. That is precisely what you've just done. What you've done is told me that you haven't done that. I've pointed out that you have and how you have, and then after telling me that you haven't, you've then done it immediately again.
I understand you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand that it was if distance then redshift, proving apparently gravity scientifically, and when I point out that there's no gravity in that, he then substitutes redshift for if distance then gravity. So you've just substituted the dv in this non-science to superimpose your fundamentalist religious assertion and belief in gravity as a begging the question fallacy on this non-science by changing the dv from redshift to gravity.
How do you vary gravity, Nathan?
So now you're asking me a question. So it's burden of proof reversal fallacy number 2. This isn't my claim. This is not scientific evidence of gravity, Craig. It's not scientific evidence of what you've claimed. Then you've imposed gravity as the dependent variable. I've had to point it out 3 times. You don't listen. You're very stupid.
And are you able to answer a question?
I'm not. I've already asked a question. Scientific evidence of gravity. You tell us if distance, then redshift. I point out no gravity in that then, and you say if distance, variation in gravitational attraction. Well, that's changing the dependent variable, Craig.
No, are you able to answer a question, little man?
So you keep ad-homming me. Rather than addressing the rebuttal that demolishes your argument. Of course, I forgot. I didn't recognise. My balls are in his mouth. So it's obviously me not answering a question, followed by an ad-hom. Right, Craig?
I don't think you know what an ad-hom is either.
Yeah, it's when you don't address the argument. In this case, we rebutted your argument. And therefore, you, as the opponent, have the opportunity to challenge my rebuttal. Instead, you just need to spew.
Can I ask you a question, or are you just going to keep shouting like a little lady?
Craig, you're at the point of illiteracy with how little you know about debating.
I'm sorry, I get too excited when I'm watching your stream.
Really pathetic.
You can answer me a question. If you can repeat my rebuttal. Let's see how we get on.
Like, honestly, you're...
If you can demonstrate, okay. If you can shut up, he's too triggered though. Clearly, won't shut up. Yeah, too triggered. Too triggered. Calm down. Take a chill pill, Craig. Calm down. Take a breath. It's all okay. Calm down, Craig. Calm down.
Arwen gets excited.
Calm down.
Arwen's here.
Got to treat him like a child. Try to calm down, Craig. It's all under control. I know this is stressful.
Calm down, man. Relax.
Relax.
All right.
Arwen's here.
Yeah, he's just too triggered.
For his audience.
Arwen, stop talking. Oh, Arwen, please, you're getting too excited.
Yeah, that's how you sound a little bit, bro. Relax. We understand you're nervous because you're not sure what the hell you're saying, and you're still going to provide us a citation for the force that gravity creates, right? Because you did say that gravity is not a force, but it creates a force. You called it an emergent force. Can you describe that to us and cite it for us, please? Or was that not the force that you were talking about in your experiment that did actually vary that? You were varying distance.
He has the ability to put down a consistent train of thought and ground it in logic. He's just a also-story blabberer. Nothing he said so far makes any damn sense at all.
Arwen, you're too excited.
He's got measurements of this force.
Every time.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, just saying he even claimed he had measurements of the force, whatever this force is, this emergent force.
The force created by gravity or the force of gravity? Because he seems to be confused right now. Which one is it, Craig?
Yeah, he wasn't clear about that.
I think he
Which one is it?
I think he wants to distance himself from this question. Let's move on to the next one.
Go ahead.
Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology,
how do you vary gravity?
Craig, you seem to be triggered by this question. I'll try again. Go ahead, 10th.
Any single viable hypotheses
yeah,
from
he is.
any
He's definitely
of the
triggered
fields
by
of
it.
cosmology.
I'm sorry, 10th. Our guest can't tolerate this question. It's obviously disturbing for him. Try a third time.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, that's because you didn't shut up. We'll try a third time. Go ahead, 10th.
Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology.
Yeah, he can't tolerate it. It's too triggered.
Shut up!
Yeah, it's too triggered. Can't cope with these questions.
Shut up.
Try a fourth time, 10th.
So, Nathan, how do you vary gravity?
You're really going to do that every time, Clown?
Yeah, he is. He's scared of the questions.
You're really going to do that every time. You're a clown,
So if he told his audience he was coming here to answer housekeeping questions, he lied to you. Because what he's actually doing is talking through the housekeeping questions rather than answering them now, isn't he? He's not letting them be asked.
Nathan, how many...
Okay, I understand. Craig, you're scared of the housekeeping questions. We know. You won't tolerate them being asked. Because then you might have to answer them, right? Maybe you'll be begging the question again pretty quickly if you actually let one be delivered.
Nathan, how do you vary gravity?
No gravity. That's your claim. So let me just point out, he wanted to interrupt. So let's just point out to the audience what he wanted to interrupt for. He wanted to reverse the burden of proof for the third time. He wanted to get me to demonstrate what gravity is. Even though that was the end of the last housekeeping question, and yet again he begged the question, he now needs to reverse the burden of proof for the third time by constantly obfuscating this housekeeping question that 10th man's not getting to ask.
Oh, no, I'm asking you a question, Nathan, until you
you're asking me to prove you're claiming gravity. I know, I've just pointed out that that's a burden of proof reversal fallacy. You seem to be using quite a lot of fallacies, Craig. What's your problem?
I'm asking how you would vary it, but you.
How I would vary gravity, the thing you're claiming. Wow. Maybe reverse that burden of proof again. Maybe if you just ignore me by talking through me, you won't catch that I'm pummeling you for a live audience.
Nathan, but in an experiment, how would you vary gravity?
It's your claim, not mine, you moron.
What's gravity?
It's his claim. He's reversing the burden of proof and then constantly filibustering, right?
So when I tell you how to vary gravity, you then go, no, that's not varying gravity.
You haven't told us how to prove gravity yet.
Yeah, because it's not.
It's a distance. Yeah, he's a liar.
Question.
Right, 10th. He didn't say he was varying gravity. He said he was varying distance to cause gravity after he changed the dependent variable in this non-experiment. Now he's saying that he can vary gravity, so now he's going to substitute the IV for gravity, it would seem.
Correct.
Nathan, I don't think you even know what an IV is.
Oh, right, I don't know what an IV is. So it's not, I am about to claim that it's the cause I'm going to vary. Yeah, even though previously the cause was distance, and now it's going to be you varying gravity. So now the IV is gravity. Wasn't it the DV a minute ago? Oh, my bad, that was redshift. It's all very confusing, Craig. I don't understand. I can't keep up and pay attention to this nonsense, right?
Cool. So Nathan, in the experiment,
not cool, mate. But pummeling for you.
Let's move on. You lost this one again. Let's move on. Any single viable hypotheses from any of the fields of cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics?
An experiment.
Is it safe to say that Fight the Flat Earth is a pseudoscientist?
I'm not a scientist at all.
Well, that's a good note to end on. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you are watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!